Hey, just look around you for a second. That phone you're holding, the chair you're in, every single one of those things started out as nothing more than an idea. But how does an idea actually become a physical thing you can hold? Well, we're going to crack open Richard Morris's The Fundamentals of Product Design and get the lazy reader's guide to that incredible journey from a simple sketch to a product on a shelf.
No, seriously, go ahead and grab the mouse next to you or your coffee mug. It feels so normal, right? So obvious, like it's just always existed. But of course it didn't. It began as just a little spark in someone's mind. So the real question is, how did it make that incredible leap from inside their head to the palm of your hand? Every single object you own, from a cheap pen to a high-end smartphone, started right here, as an idea, maybe a quick sketch on a napkin. And that's the journey we're exploring today. It's kind of like a magic trick, turning a simple drawing into something real. So first things first, we got to talk about the golden rule of product design. This is the one principle you absolutely cannot ignore if you want to make something that, actually works. And here it is. You've probably heard this phrase before. Form follows function. It sounds a little fancy, but all it really means is that what a thing does is way more important than how it looks. The function, its purpose, has to come first. Always. Let's use a wine glass as an example. You could design this stunning, beautiful, sculptural piece of art that can't actually hold any wine. Totally useless, right? On the other hand, you can make a glass that holds wine perfectly, but it looks like a boring beaker from a science kit. Great design lives somewhere in that sweet spot, right in the middle. Okay, so you've got a design, it looks good, and more importantly, it works. But what's it actually made of? Because let me tell you, the material you choose, that decision changes absolutely everything. See, when you're picking a material, you're not just picking a color or a texture. You're actually picking a set of hidden superpowers. Does it need to conduct electricity? Does it need to be a heat shield? Or maybe it needs to be a warrior against certain chemicals. These are the invisible properties that can literally make or break a product. And then there's just the feel of it. Richard Morris reminds us that how something feels in your hand is a massive part of the experience. You know that cool, heavy, sleek feel of the metal on your phone? Or the warm, organic texture of a wooden desk? Those are not accidents. They're designed specifically to make you feel something. And these choices have huge consequences down the line. Plastics are amazing because they're cheap and you can make millions of things with them. Wood is carbon neutral, which is great, but you have to work around its natural quirks, like knots. And with metal, you can engineer it to be unbelievably strong, but it's going to cost you more. It is always a trade-off. All right, so we've got our brilliant design. We've picked the perfect material. Now for the really big question. How in the world do we make a million of them? It's time to fire up the machines. Manufacturing sounds like this super complex, intimidating thing. But really, it all boils down to 4 basic concepts. You're either cutting something away, sticking pieces together, pouring liquid into a mold, or forcing a material into a new shape. That's pretty much it. And this brings us to a massively important idea: design for manufacture. It's really simple when you think about it. You can't design something if you have no idea how it's going to be built. A truly great designer is thinking about the factory, the assembly line, and the cost from day one. And the stakes here are gigantic. That simple-looking mouse on your desk, it could have easily cost millions of dollars in special machinery and tooling just to get it from a drawing into a real product. And that's a huge gamble, especially when you have no guarantee that anyone's even going to buy it. But wait, we're not done. The product is made, it's sold, it's in people's hands. But that is not the end of the story, not even close. We have to think about its future. It used to be that a designer's job was finished the moment the product shipped, but that's not how we think anymore. Now, we're realizing that a designer's responsibility extends through the entire life of that product. This right here is the big question for every designer today. What happens when your beautiful creation isn't needed anymore? Does it just become another piece of trash in a landfill? Or did you have the foresight to design it to be taken apart, to be repaired, or maybe even to be reborn as something totally new? Okay, one last time. Pick up that mouse. Does it feel any different now? Can you almost feel all those invisible choices that went into it? The function behind its shape, the reason it's made of that specific plastic, how it was popped out of a mold.
And maybe, just maybe, you can wonder if there was a plan for what happens when you're done with it.
Understanding how things are made is the first crucial step to making them better. If you want to be a part of that, subscribe to Lazy Reader. Let's build the future.